Hello, and welcome to another video from 3.5 Archive. Today, we're going to be doing our 67th D&D 3.5 Prestige class review. And we're going to be looking at the Green Star Adept Prestige class from the Complete Arcane sourcebook. The comet Alhazard, once per generation, visits the night skies. It's known as the Green Star, and it occasionally sheds pieces of burning emerald which fall to Earth, where they are collected by Green Star Adepts, who mix them into potions after crushing them up, and they drink these infusions in order to slowly change their bodies, infusing them with the Starmetal until they eventually become like constructs. And all of these Green Star Adepts are bitter rivals since they are constantly competing for what little Starmetal is out there to take, and as such they never work with each other and will compete with and possibly even fight each other to keep others from getting toward rare pieces of Starmetal. So this is a pretty strange prestige class, but it's very interesting and it's par for the course for what is contained in Complete Arcane with prestige classes like the Alienist. So it's actually fairly normal in that regard. To become a Green Star Adept, you're going to need a base attack bonus of +4. You're going to need 2 ranks in Decipher Script, 8 ranks in Knowledge Arcana, 2 ranks in Knowledge Architecture and Engineering, 2 ranks in Knowledge Geography, and 2 ranks in Knowledge History. You're also going to need combat casting, and you're going to need to be at least a first level arcane spellcaster. Finally, you're going to need to spend 1,000 gold pieces getting a piece of Starmetal, crushing it up into a potion, and drinking it. This is going to take 1 week to prepare. So these are some very restrictive prestige class requirements. Not only do you need the Dungeon Master's cooperation to some extent to get your hands on this piece of Starmetal, you're also going to need a week of downtime, and that's too much of an ask in some campaigns. Combat casting is not the greatest feat in the world, and the skills that are required, you're going to probably need to be a wizard, but you're also going to need a base attack bonus of +4. So you're probably going to need to be a fighter, wizard, multi-class, or something like that, or a sorcerer with very good intelligence. Alternatively, you could be a Duskblade, which is one of the few classes that meet most of the prestige classes requirements automatically. You're going to get combat casting as a bonus feat, full base attack bonus, arcane spellcasting, and access to all of those skills. Of course, you're going to need to spend almost all your skill points getting them, so it's going to give you trouble getting the requisite ranks and concentration and that sort of thing. But you can do it fairly comfortably, and with the intelligence that a Duskblade is going to start with, you should have no trouble qualifying for the Green Star Adept. Not every Duskblade would, but if you put aside a few skill points for those more esoteric knowledge skills, then you're going to be just fine. So the question is, do you want to become a Green Star Adept as a Duskblade or as any other character? Let's take a look at the class features that you get here. Well, first of all, you're going to get a 3/4 base attack bonus, a Goodwill save, 2+ intelligence modifier skill points per level, and a D8 hit die. So that's fairly mediocre. You only get 1 good save. You don't get the best base attack bonus, which would hurt you as a Duskblade. The other big thing with this prestige class is that you only get improvements to your spellcasting at every other level. And this already is a major problem because by the time you finish as a Green Star Adept, you'll be a 15th level character. And let's say that you came in here somehow as a, just as a 5th level wizard, which isn't possible, but if you somehow did, then you would be finishing off with only level 6 spells, and that's just not very good. You're going to want to have higher level spells by that point and enough spellcasting to keep up with the rest of your party. So that's already a major strike against this prestige class, as usual with those prestige classes that give up spellcasting. But let's see if it can make up for it. At level 1, you're going to get damage reduction. You're going to get damage reduction equal to your Green Star Adept level, so it's going to be 1/adamantine at level 1, up to eventually 10/adamantine at level 10. Damage reduction is pretty great, but it becomes less and less relevant at higher levels, and already by the time that you're getting it, damage reduction of 1 isn't going to be that important. If you're a frontline fighter and you're fighting 4 encounters a day, and say you're getting hit every round of those, average maybe 3 rounds that a combat encounter lasts, and this, of course, is being generous, then you're basically getting 12 additional hit points from this feature. And at level 10, you could look at it as getting 120 additional hit points, but by that point, there's so much magical healing available, as well as items that give you damage reduction, that you shouldn't be getting too excited about having DR. That said, it is a nice feature, and it's actually probably one of the best features you're getting from this prestige class. Also at level 1, you're going to get improved caster level. While your spellcasting doesn't necessarily improve with this prestige class at every level, you do add your class level to your caster level and other arcane spellcasting class to determine your effective spellcaster level. So the example given is that a 5th level wizard, 4th level green star adept, which again is not possible. I guess the other classes that character has are excluded from that example, but 5th level wizard, 4th level green star adept would have a 9th caster level despite only having access to 4th level spells, since he would be effectively a 7th level wizard in terms of spellcasting ability, but you'd have a higher caster level. And this can be used in some of those strange builds that stack a whole bunch of different classes to amp up your caster level beyond what it should be for your level. But, you know, as is, this really isn't a very good option. And it's just kind of there as a coping mechanism for the fact that you only get half spellcasting from this prestige class. You would think that, you know, for a class that's based around making and drinking a potion, that you would be able to, you know, focus on your spellcasting as well, but I suppose not. And the other issue with this prestige class, of course, is that for each new level, you're going to need to spend another 1,000 gold pieces and 24 hours to sort of update your infusion and, you know, improve it and such. So you need to drink another infusion, and you spend 1,000 gold pieces per level. So you're going to be spending 10,000 gold pieces in order to get through this prestige class. Now you could get damage reduction of, you know, 3/adamantine as a fighter just by, you know, getting some adamantine heavy armor put on for 10,000 gold pieces. And you could be a barbarian as well, and you could probably get close to the damage reduction you get from this prestige class, as well as getting some other great features as well. So the fact that you have to pay your way through this prestige class on top of meeting all those prerequisites is really making it hard to want to keep taking levels in this. That's the Starmetal dependency feature, if you can really call it a feature. It's more of a drawback. You also get Starmetal Rigor 1 at level 1. Your flesh takes on a faint emerald hue, and your strength score increases by 1, but your dexterity drops by 1, and you get a +1 to your natural armor. When you reach 4th level, your natural armor and strength improve by an additional 1 point, and then at 7th level increases by 2 more for a total of +4, and then your dexterity is reduced by 1 again. And of course your natural armor bonus also goes up to +4. And then finally at level 10, it's going to go up to +6 with another -1 to your dexterity. So it's a total of +6 strength, +6 natural armor, and -3 dexterity score. So you're definitely improving your armor class overall and improving your strength. But as we'll see as we go along here, that feature is not something that you really want to keep improving given its eventual end state. So at level 1, I mean, this is looking okay, but it's really not looking like it's worth all the hoops you jumped through. You're getting these minor, you know, improvements to your natural armor and such at the cost of a whole level of spellcasting, and at the cost of having to give up another 1,000 gold pieces every time you level up. So let's look at level 2. At level 2, you get a natural attack. You get a slam attack that deals bludgeoning damage equal to a club for your size, so a d6 for medium adepts, plus 1.5 times your strength modifier. This feature is pretty terrible. Yeah, you get the same benefit that you would get from wielding a quarterstaff in 2 hands. Meanwhile, if you come into this as a Duskblade, you could be swinging a greatsword for that much damage. If you came in here as a fighter wizard or a barbarian sorcerer, as the example character shows, you could be using a spear, even if you're just a sorcerer, or, you know, a greatsword. Even if you come into this as just a wizard somehow, with only a wizard's proficiencies, you could just use a quarterstaff. This is only really good if you get disarmed, but even so, it's not good. It doesn't count as, you know, any kind of special metal damage or anything. If this counted as adamantine, then maybe it could be good. But as is basically a non-feature. Also at 2nd level, you gain unnatural metabolism. You're going to get a +2 bonus on saves against poison, sleep, paralysis, stunning, disease, death effects, and necromancy effects. It's nice to get a little bonus on saving throws here, but again, it's kind of mediocre and situational. Eventually, these bonuses improve to +4 at level 5 and +6 at level 8. But if you did continue in this prestige class to its full extent, you would see that it would become pretty much irrelevant, given that eventually you'd become immune to those things altogether. At 3rd level, you gain fortification. If you're hit with a critical hit or sneak attack, there's a 25% it's negated, 25% chance. And then at level 6, you get, you know, moderate fortification, making it a 50% chance, and then you get heavy fortification, where it's a 75% chance to negate a critical hit or sneak attack. So by level 9, you're almost immune to critical hits, and then at level 10 you will be. It's nice, but critical hits shouldn't be coming up if you're a spellcaster. You should be staying out of melee. And if you're coming into this as a fighter, wizard character, or Duskblade, you can get fortification as an armor ability for some amount of gold cost, and it's probably going to be less than the 10,000 gold pieces you're spending getting into this prestige class. So while fortification is nice, it's usually not worth the risk, and even if it were, there are better ways to get it. At level 4, you're going to get dark vision out to 60 feet and low light vision per the otherworldly vision feature, and this is just disappointing. I mean, dark vision is nice, but a lot of races will already have it, and if they don't, they probably have low light vision. If you don't have either one, then, well, I guess it's nice, but it definitely wasn't worth taking levels in this prestige class just to get that. You're also going to get Starmetal Rigger level 2. At level 5, you're going to get your Unnatural Metabolism plus 4 with your save bonuses. At level 6, you're going to get your 50% fortification. At level 7, you're going to get Null Metabolism. This means you no longer need to eat, breathe, or sleep. You have immunity to inhaled poisons, drowning, suffocation, etc., etc. And then at level 7 also, you are no longer subject to fatigue or exhaustion. So I guess waves of exhaustion will no longer work on you, which is a fairly nasty spell. And you won't need to breathe, eat, or sleep, so you can have fun in your underwater adventures. But this smattering of disparate features really doesn't have any sort of focus, and what you're giving up here, which is all these levels of spellcasting you could be getting, potentially the ability to cast water-breathing spells when you actually do need to go underwater, really make it difficult to get too excited about this feature. And then at level 8, you're going to get a natural metabolism plus 6. At level 9, fortification 75%. And then finally at level 10, you'd get your Starmetal Rigger level 6. And you're also going to get Emerald Perfection. This is when you complete your transformation. You resemble a perfectly sculpted statue of yourself formed from green metal. And this changes your type to Construct, which means you lose your Constitution score, and so your saving throw bonuses against all those various things become much more important. Fortunately, you become immune to most of those things when you become a Construct, as Constructs are immune to most things that would affect a creature's metabolism and require a Fortitude save. But stuff like Disintegrate, you'll be easy pickings against because you won't have any real bonus to your Fortitude save. Just your base save, nothing from your Constitution. Hopefully you didn't put too many points into Constitution, because if you did, you're going to lose everything. You are fortunately going to get the Construct bonus, which is going to be plus 20 hit points for a medium creature. So if you were a level 15 character and you had a 12 Constitution, then I guess overall you'd be benefiting, but if you had any better of a Constitution, or if you plan to keep playing your character past 15th level, then yeah, you've really kind of screwed yourself over here. Unlike other constructs, you don't have immunity to mind-affecting effects, which is really unpleasant. Good thing you have a good will save. You're immune to poison, paralysis, stunning, disease, etc., extra damage from sneak attacks, and so on. But here's the other problem, is that you no longer heal damage on your own. You can repair yourself by means of the repair damage spells, or your rapid repair ability, which is what other feature you get at 10th level. You repair 1 point of damage per hour of rest as long as you have at least 1 hit point. You also are going to die at 0. You're going to be immediately destroyed if reduced to 0 hit points, which is going to be a real problem because you doesn't seem like you can be resurrected. You can be returned to the dead, unlike other constructs, though, so fortunately that doesn't apply to you. And you no longer take any penalties for aging. You don't die of old age or anything like that. And that's probably the only cool feature here, is that you do get immortality, which is kind of hard to come by in 3.5. But you really give up a lot in order to get it. Overall, the Green Star Adept is just not a very good prestige class. It's pretty much outright bad. If you're coming into this as a spellcaster, then you're going to lose a lot of your spellcasting, and you're going to, in return, get a lot of defensive features that are pretty situational and require you to be getting hurt or affected by unpleasant things that as a spellcaster you'd rather avoid. If you come into this as a Duskblade, then yeah, you're going to get a lot of stuff that will protect you on the front lines against monsters, but you're also going to miss out on so much spellcasting that you're really going to question if it's worth it. A lot of these bonuses to saving throws and the like you can get from magical items, same with fortification, and same with the damage reduction. And if you do go to all 10 levels in this prestige class, you're going to lose your Constitution, and you're just going to be overall weakening your character very badly. The Cleric's going to be very annoyed that he can no longer heal you, and the Wizard in the party is going to be annoyed, if there is another Wizard, that they have to waste a lot of spell slots doing Make Whole and repair damage and that sort of thing on you. So overall, the Green Star Adept just really isn't good. Going to level 10 is going to ruin your character in a lot of minds, and the features it gives you along the way are a mix of situational and outright bad. The damage reduction is nice. If it had full casting, then there could be an argument made for taking this prestige class, because while damage reduction / adamantine is not the best, it's at least somewhat relevant, and you could be considered a little bit tankier for having taken it, but there are far better options. Overall, the Green Star Adept is going to get 4 stars for concept, as it is cool thematically, but only 1 star for execution. I would never recommend this prestige class. I could see fixing it by giving it full spellcasting, and while you would still be losing your features from your original class, there would be a stronger argument for taking this as a fighter wizard or fighter sorcerer. However, the Emerald Perfection feature really needs some work. Look at something like the Living Construct from the Monster Manual 3 or Eberron campaign setting that they created for the Warforged, and consider adopting something like that instead for your Green Star Adepts in your campaign. So that's going to be about it for this D&D 3.5 Prestige Class review. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and so on. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time here on 3.5 Archive.